A recent survey of 30,000 people has identified key concerns among Japanese citizens about the future. Welcome to ESG Japan Daily. I'm Joel. Today we unpack why Japanese citizens are increasingly anxious about the potential collapse of Social Security and the rise of foreign labor, and why this disconnect between public sentiment and government policy matters. The Mitsubishi Research Institute's 2025 survey highlights two dominant anxieties shaping Japanese society. First, Social Security. For the 15th year in a row, the number one concern is the financial stability of Japan's medical, welfare, and pension systems. And the numbers are significant. In 2025, combined medical and long-term care costs are already consuming around 10% of GDP. By 2040, when Japan's elderly population reaches its peak, those costs will be 1.5 times higher than in 2020, climbing to nearly 12% of GDP. In yen terms, medical benefits are projected to rise from 46 trillion yen in 2025 to over 63 trillion yen by 2040. Long-term care will increase from 13.5 trillion to nearly 20 trillion. This isn't just a budget challenge, it's a social contract challenge. The government has launched a reform process to contain costs. But even modest proposals, such as raising the self-payment cap under the high-cost medical expense benefit system, have been shelved due to public backlash. And here's the additional issue: the public doesn't feel they're benefiting. When asked if they feel supported by Social Security services, only 32% of all households said yes. Among two-child households, it drops to 28%. For single-mother households, only 23% feel they are supported. This disconnect between contributions and perceived benefits explains why reforms face such resistance. People don't want to pay more when they don't feel they're getting enough in return. Alongside worries over Social Security, a second anxiety has increased: the impact of foreign workers on Japanese society. As of October 2024, Japan employed 2.3 million foreign workers, the highest number recorded. They are no longer a marginal presence. In agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, foreign workers now make up 8.3% of the workforce. In accommodation and food services, it's 7.4%. In manufacturing, 6%. Even in construction, often considered a traditional domestic industry, foreigners account for 4.5%. Across the economy as a whole, nearly 4% of all workers are foreign nationals. And yet, projections show that Japan's labor shortages will intensify through the 2030s. Even with the adoption of AI, robotics, and automation, there will still be deficits in production, construction, and transportation roles. In other words, Japan's economy cannot function without foreign labor. But here's the contradiction. While policymakers move to expand foreign worker programs, public opinion is moving in the opposite direction. MRI's survey asked respondents if they agreed with the statement: economic activity will be hindered by labor shortages, but we should not increase the acceptance of foreigners any further. The results? A clear majority across all age groups supported this view. 62% among people in their 40s, 54% even among those in their 60s. This indicates that many Japanese would prefer limiting foreign labor even if it affects economic activity. The government is aware of the shortage and is acting to address it. It has announced the replacement of the old technical intern training program, once framed as international contribution, with a new nurturing work, Ikusei Shuro system. This program is designed not for diplomacy, but for survival, to secure and develop human resources in industries with severe shortages. But here's the problem: the policy is advancing without national consensus. The public sees it as de facto immigration, pushed through quietly without debate. These two issues, the sustainability of Social Security and the role of foreign workers, may look different on the surface, but they share the same root problem: a lack of public understanding and consensus. When people don't feel ownership of reforms, they resist change. When they don't see benefits, they oppose contributions. And when policies move ahead without dialogue, trust erodes. The Mitsubishi Research Institute warns that this growing anxiety can have real economic consequences. People save more, spend less, and risk fueling a self-fulfilling cycle of stagnation. For Japan to move forward, it's not enough to implement policies. There must be a transparent, evidence-based national dialogue, one that directly addresses public concerns and builds shared agreement on the way forward. And don't forget to subscribe to ESG Japan Daily, where we bring you the stories that connect Japan's future with ESG realities. So here's my question for you. If you were in government today, facing rising healthcare costs and a shrinking workforce, would you A, raise taxes to stabilize Social Security, B, accept more foreign workers despite resistance, C, double down on technology and automation, or D, launch a national debate to build real consensus before moving forward? What would you choose and why? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd like to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching ESG Japan Daily. I'm Joel. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories on how sustainability, society, and policy shape Japan's future. See you then.